What's up, everybody? It's your favorite atrocious character's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Unique Toys Dumber, which is the companion piece to Dumb from Revenge of the Fallen, if memory serves, the two kind of characters that were not very well received from that Michael Bay film. This is all known to me from Scott M. A little bit of drama to this that I talked about on Patreon, but nonetheless, it is here and it is safe, so we're going to take a look at it, but in order to do so, we need to first look at accessories. Accessory-wise, it's pretty simple. He has two guns, one for each of you. They're black plastic, and I believe that they are identical. And I'm going to try not to drop them, but I can show you how they plug into his hand. So using a tab in the gun handle that goes into a slot in the palm, they do peg in. However, I have to keep the thumbs on the outside. This one I could get a little bit closer, but it still feels like you're not supposed to, so I stopped because this toy doesn't belong to me, and I'm on a good streak. So it makes him look a little doofy, you know, with the thumbs on the outside, like holding a gun like this just looks a little silly. But I guess he can technically hold them. I also couldn't find a place for them to be in car mode. I'm not sure if that's a me problem, but I couldn't find it. And let's talk about vehicle mode. So first of all, size comparison wise, there it is with Tiger Tracks. So stout little fella. It is fully painted, rolls like a champ, rubber tires, die cast for the wheels. That gives it that kind of real rim look, which I like when they do that. The door handles are painted silver. The whole thing is painted this orange and brown with a slight metallic hint to it that looks very good. Headlights have the metallic blue and yellow as well as this silver around. The yellow you might even say is gold, which would give us silver and gold. And then the metallic blue down there at the bottom. The grille is sculpted and painted nicely. Brake lights sculpted and painted. Silver down there. Underside's fairly clean. We have the side mirrors there, which look pretty good. And I do believe that these doors open. Let me see if I can find a spudger. I'm pretty sure I saw... There we go. And to reveal a pretty impressive interior. So like that might be one of the most impressive interiors of a car door that I've seen. And then the car door itself, I mean the seats are all sculpted in there and include tabs to tab into the door. We got the panel here with the steering wheel and everything, the dashboard, all of that looks good. It's pretty well done. And then we can close it back up. Does this, I didn't check to see if this part back here opens up or not. It might. You know what? I'm not going to risk it. We're at 99. We're almost at 100. So, but yeah, the paint looks good. The sculpt looks good. It feels good and it rolls well and has a little bit of, you know, interior kind of details. So nothing really to complain about. So let's get it transformed. Once again, we got to get these doors open. That one's going to be a little bit easier than this one because I've already opened that one. But there we go. Nothing to it but to do it. They're on double hinges, so get them all the way out of the way. There is a piece that's tabbed in here. Raise this up just a little bit. This folds down, and then this brown piece flips around. Same on this side. Untab. Folds down. Brown piece flips around. As you saw, the arms came untabbed, so they come down and forward. The seats fold up, the seat to the back, and then the back to the windshield. And then just make sure that all of these connections are nice and loose. Take the rear section and spin that around. You can fold it down a bit. Untab the windows, the rear windows. And then untab these orange pieces. Once you have these untabbed, slide them up, fold them over. Slide them up, fold them over, and then disconnect this entire section from the back. And these become the legs. All right, split the legs. Roll them, or extend them rather. So that knee is straight, so ratchet. Then we have to... We had to move this black piece, but it has to move, I guess, somewhat around this orange section, so just be mindful of that. Flip the black piece over, it pegs in, and then flip the toes around. And then the same section that was kind of in our way is double hinge. So flip at the hinge that's connected to the leg. Tight little tolerance. Does not feel good. Up and over. And then this comes around and pegs in between the spokes of the wheel, which is pretty cool. All right, so that's one. We're going to do that again. Extend the knee, straighten the knee rather. And then be mindful of that piece as you move the foot around it. Fold it underneath, it'll tab in, fold the toes or rotate the toes over, and then rotate at this base pin to get this armature all the way over onto the other side of the leg. Where it will tab in to the wheel. All right. You need to rotate the waist 180. These windows come down. And this silver piece comes down. These fold in on the double hinge. And then this piece folds over top. And then this whole section flips up and over. And I'm just going to do this now so I don't forget. On the interior, the steering wheel has to slide just so that it will fit between like this gap here. And then you can lay that flat. Bring this little panel up here from the hood of the car, which houses the head, and then flip that 180. And then drop down these orange pieces here, which will also allow you to pull out these side armatures here, but you also have to kind of pull out this front section with the headlights, and then all of that needs to angle down to kind of make the grill look angry. So same on this side. There, once you clear it, you're good to go. And then bring that out and over, and I feel like we can get this one a little bit better. There. Let's straighten out his head. Untab the arms, and then fold this piece up, and then fold these pieces in so that the tires are sitting in. You can get these arms a little bit out of your way. And then all of this needs to, and I got it spun around, all of this needs to come up and over. So there's two tabs here that peg in to this black piece of plastic here. And then this piece comes up and around and over and sort of grabs at multiple places. But right there in the center is one of them. And you just need to kind of find the sweet spot, so to speak. And It's a little challenging to find here. Let's see. There. Then, these, I think, I can't remember which way these go. Maybe like this. Is it like this or like this? Maybe like this. And this. Now, I've never won a 50-50, so chances are it's the other way. But, let me see if I can tell by the box. Ah! Blue piece is up. Yeah, so this was right. Okay. And make sure this head sits in there. So then all that's left is your arms. You want to unfurl the hand, rotate the bicep just to get the right kind of angle anatomically. Same for this side. And then these pieces. So these pieces come up and over his shoulder. Tab in to the side. This piece angles down and reaches back around, so to speak. All right, so same on this side. Comes down, tabs into the side. This brown piece flips down, folds in underneath, and then we have the the wings there, and then his ears. You kind of situate on your own. I'll clean them up and we'll take a look at them. Let's take a look at the figure and we'll get in tight on the head sculpt for Dennis. And I think it's money. Like, I think it's, it's accurate, right? It's awful, but that's what makes it right? The orange is painted. Then the little silver detailings are painted. The eyes are a metallic blue. The kind of facial hair is painted and sculpted. Looks good enough to me. Obviously, the ears are on little ball pegs, so you can articulate those a bit. And then the head is also on a ball peg. But you pretty much just get down. I guess you get a little bit up there, yep. Down, and then a swivel. And then a confused dog face. So that works, I guess. This neck flap doesn't really tab in. It's actually one of my issues with this figure overall, which we will get to. Gunmetal silver painted. This does slide forward. I wonder if that will help at all. Oh, you know what? There's 2 tabs there. Oh, that helps. That helps. They're 2 little tiny tabs, though. But if you sink it below this space, but it doesn't really hold. I don't know. It's up to you. Let's back out just a little bit. The doors wings are still posable, so they're on double hinges. You can kind of get them wherever you'd like. On the shoulders, we have a shoulder pad. The shoulder pad's on the hinge. That gets out of the way for a ratcheted joint that gets you up past 90 degrees and 360 around. That's about it. We have a bicep swivel with orange paint applied to the bicep. We have an elbow, which I didn't spin properly, but there that is. And that rotates on a ratchet upwards past 90 degrees as well, just slightly, with some silver and orange paint on the forearm. Other side is the exact same. Now the hands hinge in and swivel. The thumbs are on ball pegs with their own little fingers, or secondary joint there, and then the fingers are all on a base pin knuckle and then a secondary pin knuckle all together. Same for this side. A couple more detailings here to talk about. And this finger is independent. These fingers are independent on his left hand. So the orange is still painted, base pin knuckle and secondary knuckle independently articulated. Let's back out. Detailings for the truck kind of stay the same. Once again, these here, they don't really have a set place to be. Like, I think this one is right, but this one I could probably get a little bit better. Waist swivel, no issues there, no ab crunch. If we get the shoulder pads out of the way and the arms up, then we can get access to our universals for hips, which are on soft ratchets, and they're inconsistent. but they do get you the full Van Damme, and they will get you the full Monty. Thigh swivel, single hinge knee on a ratchet, orange and gunmetal paint on the thigh. Ankles, you get an ankle tilt up, slight ankle tilt down, and a rocker, and the toes are painted silver. And there he is from the back, relatively clean. Mixed feelings on this one, but we'll get there. Let's do some size comparisons first. Size comparison wise, I don't really have anything that makes sense to show you, but there he is next to a masterpiece car. So a bit smaller, you know what I mean? He's just a little fella, which I think is accurate, but I'll be honest with you, I don't really know. And honestly, I don't really care, but I know some of you may, so I want to make sure I showed him next to something, right? And there we have it. The road to 104 continues. Final thoughts wise, let's start with the negatives, of which I have surprisingly many. We'll start with the guns, right? I can't get the thumbs around the guns, not in any sort of position of comfort. There's also some ratchet issues in this, like the ratchets are sort of tolerance weird and they're very kind of clumsy and awkward, which I'm not used to at this company, namely in the shoulders, but especially in the hips. Elbows and knees work fine. There's a couple of tolerance issues, getting things to kind of unpeg and move around, to include opening up the doors in car mode. That's something that could theoretically loosen with time, but I don't have the time. All I have is the time to do this review. There's also a clearance issue, getting these orange pieces that you see wrapped around the tires in place. They kind of have to move around the feet to get the feet in place. And then lastly, my major issue with this guy is there's a number of transformation sequences where stuff doesn't peg in. It just sort of sits in place, and it doesn't make the figure feel solid overall, which is a bummer. Positives wise, there's one thing I want to point out immediately. There's a ton of character in this. As you can see, with even poses like this, you're capable of really trying to, really capable, I guess, of bringing forth the character from the screen. As ridiculous as that character is, it does translate well in the 3D space. It's fully painted head to toe, with the exception of the black plastic you see. The paint is beautiful. Slight metallic gloss mix with the orange, silvers, golds, blues, etc. Articulation is sort of standard status quo across the board. Nothing really kind of amazing, but no shortcomings. The build of the figure is decent. The actual engineering remains that kind of Unique Toys, dark arts, black magic kind of stuff that they've been doing recently. It just doesn't feel quite as finished as some of the more notable ones from their past. The problem is they're competing with themselves, right? It's much like how I see, Fans Toys or Make Toys or any other kind of established company is they're not competing against stuff that's out now. They're competing against their resume of days of past, and their resume's pretty impressive. And while this is good, it doesn't quite live up to that resume, but still a decent recommend because it is a decent figure, just not quite as memorable as the previous ones. Hope that helps. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.